Pero que viva!
We'll start with number 156 and then have a virtual press room on deck.
Congratulations, Guillermo and all your team. This is an achievement not also for animation, for stop motion, and also for an international crew and animators. But obviously, I'm also from Mexico, so I would love to that you can talk about that as a Mexican, how it's for you.
Yes.
And we also need in the future, maybe Mexico win Best Animated Movie, but produce it in Mexico. It's something that we need to do. So tell me about your feelings.
I think we started stop motion in Guadalajara, Jalisco, Mexico, where I'm from. We started in the 80s. And it started with Rigoberto Mora, myself, Daniel Varela, Mariano Aparicio. We started to do Super 8s, then we did 16, then we did 35. And for a long time, the animators in Guadalajara have been doing extraordinary shorts. And in Mexico City, Monterrey, there are great animators. And I think it's important that we keep it alive as an industry, as an art form. And, I have right now 2 scholarships active for filmmakers. And it is my desire and my commitment now that I'm going to finance a stop motion class in Gobelin, in the animation school, for Mexican students to go there and specialize on stop motion to keep it alive.
We have Canal 2 International and number 220 on deck.
220, ka.
Bingo.
Chale huevos.
Hello. Hola, Guillermo.
Hola.
Can I do it in Spanish? Is that okay? Yeah, okay. Guillermo, la última vez que nos encontramos nos habías dicho de que te sentías un poco como Chepeto. Y ya que le diste vida a Pinocho, si pudieras darle vida al Oscar, ¿qué crees que él te diría a ti?
Wow. La marihuana es muy barata. O sea, me diría que es el Indio Fernández. Y que no se va a quitar la espada.
Gracias.
Okay, sorry, we're going back to Canal 2 International. It's a virtual question, and then we'll have number 333 on deck.
Okay, so I'm Stefan Momo from Canal 2 International in Cameroon, Central Africa. So first of all, I would like to congratulate you guys. And my question is to know if it is possible for you guys to share your experience with animators from Africa, in particular in Cameroon.
Yes, sir.
I didn't hear the question.
Share your experience with animators in Africa.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, our animators are stars. They are the actors in our film, and then they will never get enough credit. They really have to breathe life into these characters, and we found some people who could truly do that. And they were just remarkable. They really could get in deep into the character and understand what the character was thinking and feeling. So it wasn't just motion, it was emotion. And that's really, and we also focused on the quiet moments, because those are really important. Animation isn't all about big pose-to-pose movement. It's about really connecting with the characters on an intimate level. And you do that when you are with them and you're quiet and you can look into their eyes and you can see them processing information.
It also is important that the animation is done by people that have been given license to do so, that they were promised to be treated like the artists they were and not technicians, and credited in the movie as such. They were credited in the main credits before even the voice actors, and our collaboration was truly a collaboration between the directing team and the acting team.
All right, great. And also just one addendum, if you wouldn't mind holding up your numbers throughout the questions, that would be helpful. And also if you can announce your outlet and your country before you ask the question, that would be wonderful. We are going to move on to number 333 with number 107 on deck.
The number of the half-beast.
Mini Beast.
Mini Beast.
Hi, Jens. Jasmine Page Moore for the Academy in Digital First. Just congratulations down the board, well deserved. But this movie at its core is about family and it's about love. So why do you think this story is so important and impactful in the world today?
Well, I think that there are several reversals in the film. One of the most important ones is that it's not about a kid learning to be a real boy, but a father learning to be a real father. And I think it's a lesson that is urgent in the world, and same with disobedience. We are saying disobedience is not only necessary, it is a virtue that is urgent in the world now. So, you know, the movie talks about families, but not in a constraining, perfect way. As the cricket says, an imperfect father and an imperfect son, and how we can love each other in our failures, in our flaws, in our humanity.
Yeah, and I think that almost all the characters in our film eventually find family in one form or another, and there's real redemption in that. And I think even though it's ultimately a film about sorrow, it's also a film about hope.
We're done.
We have film critique, which is part of our virtual press room, with number 149 on deck.
149. Muy bien.
Sorry,
Hi.
virtual press room first for film critique.
Hi, I'm Nancy Green with Film Critique. Congratulations on your win. And one of the things I wanted to say, Mr. Del Toro, that your movies have broken the mold in terms of what genre movies can do and the possibilities. I wanted to know, what do you think that this win will do for animated movies in the future and the possibilities that there?
I think that is not a single win. We're going to have to organize ourselves as a community. We have to have dialogue with the guilds. We have to have an active dialogue with the Academy. This is an art form that has kept being kept commercially and industrially in the kids' table for so long, and it really is a mature, expressive, beautiful, complex art form. So a win helps, but it is about going forward as a community, making it strong, making it known, and say what we need, because the promise of animation can be fulfilled by the artists that are in the community beautifully. And young animators are coming in all the time that want to do this, and they don't want to just conform themselves to the rules and product that is demanded of them.
Right, and we have number 149 next, with number 390 on deck.
Hello. 107 over here, Carlos Aguilar, Roger River. Felicidades, Guillermo. Just wanted to ask, you've won the Oscar a couple times before, but this one's for animation. What makes this one particularly special?
Well, I think the first thing is I think it was very important for me to have the chance to say that directing, writing, art direction, production design, everything we do in animation is analog, as complex or more complex than live action. And the desire to say that our craft as directors is complex and important, and we know that, and it should be recognized. It should be in the forefront and discussed and all that. That was important. It's great to have picture, director, and animation, because they define what I have loved all my life since I was a kid. I want one for makeup effects one day, but it's beautiful, and it will help us implement more movement in the community in Mexico and in Latin America to keep pushing for stop motion, which is one of the most democratic forms of animation. All the other forms of animation in digital are too expensive, but a kid with a camera and a model in their room, they can do animation in stop motion, and it can say exactly what they feel.
Okay, we'll move on next to number 149, and then we'll wrap up with 390.
I like 390.
Felicidades por su tercer Oscar, por hacer historia, ganar como mejor director, película y ahora película animada.
Sí.
Nos hace sentir muy orgullosos como mexicanos y me gustaría si nos pudiera compartir un mensaje para todos esos jóvenes que gracias a sus logros siguen buscando la oportunidad de poder sobresalir, buscan tener sus becas y sobre todo seguir sus pasos. Es un ejemplo no nada más para los mexicanos, sino para todos los jóvenes igual forma en usted, pues hay mucha ilusión.
En español está la arena en que Latinoamérica y México puede competir con todo el mundo es creatividad y fuerza del alma y expresividad y potencia artística. Y eso es muy importante y era muy importante hacer una parte de Pinocho en Guadalajara por eso y el apoyo que le doy a la comunidad en stop motion en México en general continuará y es importante que siga. Este año Annecy, el Festival de Animación en Francia, lo dedica a México, ahí estaremos y simplemente que sepan que esta es una forma de creatividad inclusiva, hermosa, potente. Pero que viva.
And number 390. And also, if you are going to ask a question that is not in English, if you could please repeat the question in English afterwards, so everyone.
You want me to repeat the answer in English? Because I can. What the fuck?
Why not?
What is important for Mexico and Latin America to look towards animation is that we can compete with creativity, passion, and artistic flair with anything in the world. And stop motion allows that for them to continue expressing. This is an important year for Latin America and Mexico in animation. The Festival of Annecy in France dedicates this edition to Mexico. We're going to be there, and we're going to push this message as much as we can. There you go.
And now number 390.
Perfect. Thank you. Alex Segura, Voice of America, to your right. Guillermo, your right.
Hey, hola.
Hola, ¿qué tal? So this question is going to be in Spanish. So first, because I work for the Spanish division of Voice of America. So, en español, muchas felicidades por el galardón. ¿Qué representa esto para el cine latinoamericano en general, no solo en animación? Y también teniendo en cuenta pues, que cada vez los Oscars hay una mayor diversidad en cuanto a vencedores, o ya lo hemos visto en 2 ocasiones. Si nos puede comentar un poquito sobre esto. Y de nuevo, muchas felicidades y me encantó Pinocchio. In English, super quick, I'm asking about, the advance on diversity at the Oscars and also how this award impacts the Latin American movie industry. Thank you.
Bueno, el primer deber de la diversidad es cada que te toca hacer algo, hacerlo tan bien como puedas. Porque no estás solo en tu labor, estás cargando atrás una legión de gente que viene después. Cuando nosotros llegamos en los 90s, era muy diferente la representación de latinos en Estados Unidos en la industria. E incluso recuerdo con bastante dolor una entrevista que mi cinematógrafo, Guillermo Navarro, tuvo con un agente de talentos en el que le dijo, ¿para qué quiero un mexicano si ya tengo un jardinero? Y el desprecio que había en los 90 se ha ido venciendo poco a poco. Creo que estamos mejor, nunca está completo el trabajo, siempre hay algo más que hacer, pero tiene importancia, cada uno de nosotros hace algo para una multitud de gente que viene detrás. So what I'm saying is that every time you stand to do a job as a Latin or a minority, anything you do, you're not alone, and the first duty of representation is to do it really well. To do it really well because you're not doing it for you, you're doing it for people that come after you and are looking forward for opportunities. And if you don't do that, you're closing that door. The things have changed since I came here in the 90s. I remember with great chagrin an interview I had with Guillermo Navarro, the cinematographer that won the Oscar for Pan's Labyrinth, with a talent agent that said to him, why do I want a Mexican? I have a gardener. And there was a lot of open and subtle racism that you have to move, and there is a glass ceiling. There is, and you have to keep pushing it all the time. It doesn't end with one generation, it doesn't end with one person, but again, together, you push that limit more and more and create opportunity. Yeah.
All right, thank you very much. We're all set.
Nos vemos. Gracias.
Okay, let's start with number 129 before we head over to the virtual press room.
129. Bingo.
Yes, if you could just say for the microphone, and if you could, when you get your microphone, if you wouldn't mind saying your outlet and country, please.
USA, blackfilm.com, Roger Carter. How are you?
Well, thank you.
Congratulations.
Oh man, what a win! This was a tough lineup of best costume design. So I'm really happy for my colleagues as well because they deserve the nomination and they also deserve to win.
So my question is, doing a movie of this magnitude, how do you make the costume part of the movie instead of becoming the movie?
Well, I love costumes, so that's really hard for me. But it's about storytelling. You don't want to distract. You want to support. And I enjoy supporting actors. I enjoy shepherding them to the set in a costume that they feel good in, that they can perform in. So I never wanted to overshadow the story or the performance. I'm here to support, and it's a collaborative medium.
All right, let's move over to the virtual press room. So we have Up Your Geek, which we will follow with number 258. So Up Your Geek.
Hi.
Up Your Geek.
Hi, this is Lou Booker, Up Your Geek. I wanted to know about your process in designing the costumes for Queen Ramonda. What did you, I know you did this for the first film. Did you take any different steps in the second film when designing this, the costume?
Yes, the first film we were introduced to Queen Ramonda as the queen, as the support to T'Challa. In Wakanda Forever, we're introduced to her as the ruler of Wakanda. So we stepped up, we enhanced. Angela always wanted to play a queen, and so to amplify her as the ruler of Wakanda, we added vibranium, more vibranium. We added an extra element to her ishikolo, the married woman's crown that she wears. We gave her the royal color of purple and adorned in gold as she enters the UN in this gown. And it was incredible to elevate Queen Ramonda to this new status. And so the process was to give her strength and show also the way that she embodied her place in Wakanda. As you can see on in the film, when she sits on the throne, she's in a gray one-shoulder dress, and the exposed shoulder shows her strength because Angela, she got those guns, right? So we exposed her arms. We exposed her arms in the UN to show, how beautiful women can be, how strong and vulnerable at the same time, but also can lead a nation.
Okay, and next up we have 385 before moving over to 323. So number 385.
Hey Ruth, it's Jazz from Variety.
Hey Jazz.
Hey, congratulations on the win. Thank you. Ruth, you have just made history by becoming the second black woman to win an Oscar ever, and the second black woman to win in the category of costume design.
How can you make history by being the second?
You've just made Oscar history.
Okay.
But anyway, we're so excited for you. But what does your win mean tonight?
Oh, listen, I pulled myself up from my bootstraps. I started, a single parent household. I wanted to be a costume designer. I studied. I scraped. I dealt with adversity in the industry that sometimes didn't look like me, and I endured. So I feel that this win opens the door for other young costume designers that, may not think that this industry is for them, and hopefully they'll see me and they'll see my story and they'll think that they can win an Oscar too.
Okay, next up we have 258, and our last question will be 323.
John Boone from A-Frame. Congratulations, Ruth.
Thank you.
Right here.
Right, thank you.
You dedicated the win to your mom. How did she react when you won your first Oscar, and what do you think she would think of you coming home with a second one?
My mom passed away last week, And I had a great relationship with her in her final years, the same relationship that I've always had with her. I was her ride or die, I was her road dog, I was her sidekick, and she always wanted me to follow my dream. Even after I graduated from college and I came back home to do an internship, and I didn't quite know where I wanted to step next, and I packed up my Volkswagen Rabbit, and my mother said, "You don't want to stay here, you can just go." So I know she's proud of me. I know that she wanted this for me as much as I wanted it for myself. Thank you.
Great. And last question, 323.
Hi, Tanya Hart, American Urban Radio Networks. Congratulations.
Thank you.
You do so much to give back that people don't know about, but I understand that some SBCU students helped you design, I think, what you have on today. Could you tell us about that?
Well, not this dress,
that
but
one?
we did do an HBCU dress challenge for the NAACP Image Awards and the Costume Designers Guild Awards, where I wore their designs. They were young African-American fashion students at an HBCU called Pencil Lewis College. This one is my creation. Thank you.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much, Ruth Carter.
Thank you.
We have number 336. 336?
Barbara from the German press agency. Congratulations.
Thank you.
You were really stunned on the stage.
Yeah.
It was visible. What does this mean to win this movie, to win this Oscar for a German language movie?
It means everything in the world. I mean, I can't even articulate what an honor this is. And my great-grandparents are German, and I don't speak a word of German. So, yeah, it's a lot of faith, and thank you to Edward Berger and Malta Gunart for installing this faith in me. And yeah, I mean, I can't believe it. I still can't believe it.
All right, next up we have number 336. Sorry, 336, and after 336 we'll have number 103.
316. You said 336. Yeah.
Oh, number 31. Okay. Congratulations, Mark Williams over here on your left, in the back of the room, waving my hand. From British cinematographer. Congratulations on the win.
Thank you.
Can you talk about the approach? Unfortunately, our species never runs out of wars, and they get increasingly well documented visually, from newsreels all the way to cell phone capture now. But World War I exists in images mostly in terms of narrative recreation. So what did you use to source your visual approach? How did you work on it?
Well, the novel was everything, to be perfectly honest, and the script. And we built it upon that, but also just the way war makes you feel. I don't know. Like it should not feel beautiful. It shouldn't feel intelligible. It should feel horrific. I mean, this film is the closest thing to a war film. Sorry, horror film. Sorry, I do apologise. Than that anything can be, and yeah, it is. It's a horror. It's a horror movie, and it's But we, as far as photography is concerned, I think we dug up some World War I photographs, but the one thing that we actually didn't. We took from that was not the photochemical aspect of it, but the horror aspect of it, and it's about capturing that. And yeah, that's what I think that we tried to do. Sorry.
Okay, next up we have number 103, and then we'll take our final question from 224.
Sorry, I'm a bit overwhelmed, as you can imagine.
Congratulations, James. I understand that this is a dream of yours for a long time. For any aspiring cinematographers, what would be your advice to them?
My advice to aspiring cinematographers is basically just keep pushing, because I grew up as an electrician in the film business and coiled cable through mud and all sorts of other horrible stuff. And if you believe in it and you just want to tell stories, then just keep pushing and keep pushing and keep pushing. And there are some incredible storytellers out there. And I love to mentor. I was mentored by two great cinematographers, a guy called Paul Wheeler and Phil Mayhew, and who I'm very privileged to have next to my name. And seek mentorship, seek advice, but when the day is dark, don't give up. Just keep pushing, because that's what I can say.
All right, and final question from 224.
Ines Pohl, Deutsche Welle. First of all, congratulations, and you just won another Oscar.
Really?
Yes. Right. So, but my question is, you have been working on this movie for so long. How did the war in Ukraine change your perspective?
When we were shooting, obviously the war in Ukraine didn't exist, but war in general, is very present and historical, and it's a lesson that we can just sort of learn from, really, I like to think. But to be perfectly honest, I don't know. We're obscene to keep conflicts, and sorry, I'm not making a lot of sense, but I'm just, it's terrible. It's absolutely terrible, to be perfectly honest, and we should, they should be ashamed. That's the way.
Thank you so much, and congratulations on your 2 wins.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Sorry for being a bit inarticulate. I do.
Hi. Hello.
We'll start with 232 and then move on to 316.
Hi, Sarah.
Hi.
Miriam Adaya from CBC Radio Canada.
Oh, nice to see you.
Hi, nice to see you. Obviously, you're making a lot of women proud tonight, and a lot of Canadian women proud tonight. Just tell me, what does it represent to win this award and be recognized for the work that you've done on Women Talking?
Thank you so much. I'm just thrilled that this is a recognition that our whole film is getting. It was an incredible collective experience, and even adapting this screenplay itself was the result of so many conversations with so many people who weren't named as nominees tonight. And so this feels like it's for this amazing collective group of people who really brought a lot of their own lived experience to this film. I'm very excited about it and honored by it. Thank you.
Okay, 316, and then followed by a question from the virtual press room.
Sarah, congratulations. It's Mark Williams from British Cinematographer, and below the line here on your left, a little bit in the back, hand waving here.
Hi.
There, how you do. So again, I would love for you to expand on those contributions. I know this is for a writing award, but for the totality of the film, with the great contributions that you got in production design and cinematography and all these craft elements, could you expand on how those helped your written work come alive?
I really appreciate the question. So there are a lot of crew people that I show my scripts to at the very, very beginning, the very first draft of it. They include my casting director, John Buchan, and Jason Knight, Luc Montpellier, my cinematographer, who I've worked with since my very first short films, And a lot of people, my post-sound supervisor, David McCallum, I have a lot of people weighing in very, very early in the process. And this screenplay especially, with Dee Dee Gardner and Frances McDormand, was the result of a lot of conversations with us. And then that extended into the editing room and was changed a lot in the editing room. So my editors, Christopher Donaldson and Roz Kalu, the screenplay was an ever-evolving thing. A lot of actors came up with ideas. A lot of crew members in the moment would bring their own lived experience into the room, and we would change the script based on it. So it was this very alive, active document that was constantly being collectively built. And I'm sure I'm forgetting a lot of the names of the people who contributed right now, but it was not one person. So thank you.
And our final question will go to the virtual press room. Cinephilos, can you please ask your question?
Yes. Hi, Sarah. My name is Fran from Cinephilos Latin America. Congratulations. And I really wanted to know, even in the worst conditions, you recreate that the power of dialogue and collectiveness is really important, and how you create that safe environment. I really wanted to know how cathartic was for you and for all the participants in the movie, try to get the more authentic performance there.
I mean, it was a beautiful experience because of the people that were in the room with us. And I think we live in a world right now where we're kind of creating stories and then shaking our narratives at each other and cheering for a side. And it's, conversation has become like a sport as opposed to genuine exchange and listening and the act of changing one's mind or being open to either changing one's own mind or somebody else's. And so for us all to be in an environment where, that was the organizing principle in a way of what happens in the story, that really was contagious, and it really impacted the way we all worked. And that was a beautiful, very transformative thing for a lot of us.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, and congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thank you.